Alright. Here we are in the Ozarks on a beautiful rainy day. It's rainy. Supposedly thunderstorms are coming in. You guys saw me put up the tarp, and I've got my Gore-Tex bivvy laying out already. This is what's going to be called a contents video, where, if for those of you who don't know, I just fucking empty my bag and basically give a gear review on every item and incorporate some of my philosophies for living, extended wilderness living, into the review. I apologize, I got like a crick in my back and my head's kind of not into this, so this video might be boring, although we did have requests to show the gear longer and closer, and so, okay, I'll try and accommodate that. This is my dog Bear. He's an asshole and he's not trained at all yet, so he may be cramping my style the whole time. But without further ado, let's get this started. When I think of shelter, I guess since the last Ewls video, the only thing that's really changed is shelter. Well, there might be some more things. We'll get into it later. By the way, if you need, you know, these are probably going to be a good 20-40 minutes long, so if you want to order a pizza, feel free. Sit down and jam with me about living in the woods extendedly out of a 30-pound pack. But shelter is the only thing that changed that I can think of right now. And you saw me put up this poncho and tarp, and you see this Gore-Tex bivvy laying out in front of you. Quit it, butt fucker. Get the fuck out of here. It's not playtime. Ow. I break shelter down into Bear, no. I break shelter down into two components, basically. Bear, no. No. God, come on, we're live here. And my two components are insulation and waterproof breathable. So that all of my shelter philosophy encompasses, basically revolves around those two things: insulation and waterproof breathable. You saw me put up the tarp. You see the Gore-Tex below, like I said. These are my waterproof breathable components to my shelter. I've incorporated some bushcraft that I'll talk about later in order to make my my pack lighter, because well, okay, long story short, I had to kick out my jacket, or kick out a wool blanket. I'm sorry, like I said, my head's not in this, because on survivalsports.com, you know, we got a few guys that are like interested in extended wilderness living or extended living in period out of a backpack, and this guy named Vanishing Nomad, who is fucking asshole, was like, hey dude, you ain't gonna be hiking around with that wool jacket, because previously my philosophy was I'll keep a wool blanket in my bag, and if it's wintertime, I'll always be wearing my jacket. So if I'm wearing my jacket, you know, then, and it's wintertime, then I'll have it with me. So I don't need to put it in my bag, and I don't need to add it to my back weight. That turned out to be completely and utterly wrong. And I hate him for it. So I basically had to kick a wool blanket out of my pack and then put my Filson Mackinac Cruiser into my pack. So in order to do that, I had to incorporate bushcraft philosophy, which is, you know, utilizing resources from your environment to accomplish the goals you need to accomplish. And we'll get to how I did that later. Or maybe right now, since we're fucking talking about it. So my Gore-Tex bivvy is here. All right, fucker, you gotta get out of here. We're not playing. my Gore-Tex bivy is here, and basically for extra insulation, when I get down to like 0 fucking degrees outside here, Bear, no! When I get down to 0 degrees outside, I basically stuff this thing with leaves and crawl in it. As you know, the Ewls system, the shelter system, is a 3, 4, or a 4-season system. I want to be able to grab it year round. So, the winter setup of that shelter system is essentially this bivy bag stuffed with leaves and me wearing all my wool clothing that I have in the backpack. Now, the summer setup with the Gore-Tex bivy, a lot of people don't know this because I pioneered this. You can make a hammock out of fucking Gore-Tex bivy, man. And not only can you make a hammock out of it, you can then proceed to stuff it with leaves, which are found around the environment, and insulate from underneath. Because if you're in a hammock, you need insulation from underneath. It's just, it's mandatory unless it's fucking, you know, like 60 or 70 degrees out. So, that's the summer setup. And basically those are the 2 extreme setups that I use with my waterproof breathable layer in winter and summer. The tarp obviously goes over the top both times, you know, because you have to, the poncho tarp, USGI poncho goes over during the summer and the winter, because you got to have like a dry place. You just have to. You know, if it's going to rain for a week straight, yeah, it's going to suck, but you got to have a dry place you can retreat to and fucking air your feet out at the very least. So, waterproof, breathable, Gore-Tex bivy. The Gore-Tex is good for, this bivy is good for so many other things too. I can carry 20 gallons of water in this thing if I want. I use it as a, previously I had used, what are they called? The Sea Line dry bags as dry bags. But this thing doubles as a dry bag. If it's fucking raining inside, all I do, raining inside. If it's raining outside, like really bad for hours on end, I just shove all my gear into here and stuff this into the bag. If I need to do a fucking river crossing, I just stuff the bag in here and tie it off. It's fucking, it's way multi-purpose, and I love this piece of gear. There are other purposes that I would like it to accomplish that it doesn't accomplish, but anyway, I love this piece of gear, and let's get into this fucking pack, because I'm sure I've talked about the Gore-Tex bivy for like 5 minutes. Maybe I should make a separate video on all these things. Alright, so this is obviously my cordage bag. I prefer, like I've said, to carry all kinds of cordage in here. 3 types of main cordage. This is the Amsteel line that I carry for hanging up hammocks with, and, you know, other heavy lifting I might need to do. I haven't encountered any other heavy lifting yet, but I might need to. There are various lengths of this tarred braided nylon cordage. A comment on this stuff. I bought some of this shit supposedly from Walmart. It's fucking horrible. This stuff, it will stick up on end if you get the right shit. If you buy your tarred braided nylon cord from Walmart, it's not going to be the right shit. I think I got this stuff from Bass Pro. It doesn't really smell. It smells more nylon-y than tarry, but you can smell some tar on it. Anyway, it's great and it's durable when I use it. The other cordage I use, I have a little bit of 550 cord. I like 550 for other things, like securing knives and stuff like that. So it gives the versatility there. Here's my little bag in here. Well, I guess I'll take everything out. This is just a mosquito net. This is for summer because bugs fucking suck. And in the summer up here, there's all kinds of fucking nasty bugs. So what I do is I put on my hat and then put the mosquito net over it, and then, oh wow, okay, so there's a bunch, just random dogs coming on my property, great. Sorry. I put my mosquito net over and tuck it into my shirt, and it at least keeps the bugs off my fucking face and out of my mouth and nose and eyes, which is, I think, the most annoying part about bugs. This is just a little waterproof thing. Waterproof. It's a Ziploc bag, and in the Ziploc bag I carry my sewing kit, which I guess on another note, I've ripped a hole in these pants finally, in the crotch of these pants, basically because I'm a fat fuck. I want to sew them back up, but the needles I carry in my sewing kit are fucking way too tiny, or way too large, and so I need to get smaller needles for this, is what I learned, to sew most things up, like clothing and stuff. When we get to my balaclava, I'll show you where I've repaired it with some wool and everything, but and larger needles, but for sewing up like nylon and like my pack and stuff, I need some smaller needles. Also in here I have iodine tincture. Sorry, we're gonna try and move this along. I can fucking talk forever about this shit, guys. So iodine tincture, this is basically my first aid. My first aid consists of, oh shit, I broke my fucking leg, a bone sticking out. Give me my canteen, which always has water in it because of my water system. I fucking dump it in there, and then dump a couple of these, just little bandanas in there, and use these to fucking stop the bleeding, basically. I have 2 lighters. I have a backup compass with a thermometer, one of those things. I have earplugs. I have no idea why I carry these, but I do for some reason. And I got this little Rex mini light, which is basically acts as a backup light. So that's all that's in my little possibles pouch here. Cram all this back in here. Alright, what's next? Aha. Okay, this is the Condor something or other. I can't remember the name of this knife. I think Vanishing Nomad recommended it to me. Condor, does it say on it? Condor, nope, it doesn't. So, this knife you see me carrying around, I brought this over here to show you that this, I no longer have this knife in my bag. Here, I'll get all close, because you all want it close. This is the K-Bar Becker BK2 Companion. I love this knife. This knife is bomb-proof and it gets Twiggy's bomb-proof seal of approval, for sure. You guys know I'm not easy on my gear. This thing I've used as a pry bar, a shovel, a hatchet, everything. It works great. But this Condor Rodan, that's what it's called. Get out of here, you ain't in the kit. This Condor Rodan is 3 ounces lighter, and ounces matter. And it's lighter because, I don't know if you can see here, it's thinner. They both have the same length blade, although the Becker BK2 is like 1/8 of an inch longer. But it's fucking thinner. So, that's why it's lighter. Where am I going with this? Oh yeah, well, we need lighter, obviously, in our pack. Now, lighter at the expense of what, you may ask? Now, this thick spine is good. I found the heft really aids in hatcheting, for sure. But I don't use it as a hatchet that much, and so I could still hatchet with the Condor Rodan, right? It still works. God, my head is so not in this one. Sorry, guys. Anyway, it's 3 ounces fucking lighter because it's skinnier. The blades are essentially the same. I prefer the Scandi grind of the Condor Rodan over the convex grind of this thing, just slightly. I mean, you get either one of these, you're gonna have a great fucking knife, I promise. But 3 ounces lighter. It's still in the testing phase. I haven't officially adopted it, but for right now, the Becker BK2 is on the sidelines, and the Condor Rodan is in the spotlight. Condor Rodan, $30, nice leather sheath. Although I did have to drill holes in the top of it, I don't know if you can see, to make my preferred style of carry, which is over the shoulder. It's only $30 though. Becker BK2 I think is like 60 or 70 bucks these days. I don't know. I think you're getting more knife for the money with this, but that's my preliminary assessment. Anyway, thanks for Vanishing Nomad for suggesting that. That dude and I, we got a lot of the same goals, so we do a lot of info swapping. Okay, what's next in here? You guys have seen these USGI PDKs. This is where I keep my fishing kit. It's I basically take it out. Well, that's right, close-ups. Y'all want close-ups. Here we go. This is basically it. It's a braided nylon power something or other line. I got braided nylon because it's easier to fucking unravel and shit. Basically, I just put it around this thing, and then I hold it, and I twirl one side, and I cast off, and I can get, 30, 40, 50 foot cast, depending on the kind of rocks I've tied to the line to get it out there. And it works. Caught fish with this. This is great. You got no problem. Plus, you can use it as a limb lines or trot lines, So, there's my fishing gear. This, we're all familiar with, the old Baco Laplander. Love this thing. Nothing bad to say about this at all. I was thinking about switching out with the Sven saw, but I just don't think I'm going to need to saw any wood over 4 inches, which this thing just handles easily, without question. Awesome. What else we got in here? I got another USGI PDK, and it's got tinder in it. This is my tinder box. I've got some coals. That's, coals are basically char cloth. You get a spark on those, you'd be good to go. I got a bunch of natural tinder in there, cedar bark, thistle fluff, a bunch of stuff like that. Normally I don't need tinder because I carry the Bic lighter around, but if everything gets soaking fucking wet, we got this thing. And this thing will be dry. Alright. What else we got here? I think I should scoot back a little bit so you guys can see everything here. Okay, here's a point of contention. Little compass. This thing is a cheap-ass Coleman compass. And I'm not sure if it will be the compass I need it to be when I do navigation. I know how to do land nav, but I haven't really refreshed on it very much at all. I might end up having to get a better compass. I don't think we're traveling so far that, being off a degree or 2 or 5 degrees even is going to fucking matter, but it might. I haven't really done any land nav stuff yet. So my land nav system is untested. It's not like I don't know how to do land nav, I haven't done it. I've been fucking lazy for the past 4 months, y'all. Topographical maps you can print out from USGS Online. And a copy of the Constitution and Declaration of Independence. This is good reading. Y'all should know everything in that motherfucker. Your duty as a citizen to do that. The old boonie hat, the old wax boonie hat. I want to replace this with a ball cap, but I don't have the funds yet. Basically, when I put it on and walk through the woods, it affects my hearing. I can't tell if it makes it more acute, but I feel like it makes it less acute. Also, when I have all my wool on, the back brim of this kind of fucks everything up. So, we want to go with a ball cap, and we will in time. It's not like the boonie hat's bad. The boonie hat fucking works great, but ball cap's going to work better. I've added this. This is just a little, basically a monocular. A little 8-power, cheap-ass, $6 monocular. I've super glued right there the lens in position to infinite focus because it was a cheap-ass piece of shit and it got out of focus frequently. Here's just some, I think this is 90-pound picture line, some wire. I use that for traps, and I also use that as an antenna for my my Eton Scorpion. Which, speak of the devil, here's the Eton. Yeah, I'm not gonna redrudge all the stories about each one of these pieces of gear. They're all in the previous contents video if you guys want to watch them. I think I'm only going to highlight the things that have changed since the last content video, even though I love talking about my gear. But the Eton is basically broken, but basically everything works and it's still kicking. If that confuses you, watch the other videos. Alright, back to the shelter system. Basically, the concept is everything, there's 2 layers of wool for everything. So here's my wool gloves for my hands. This is, you guys have seen this before, you know, my wool, and it's got a little wool base layer under it. So this is, now we're getting into the insulation aspect of my shelter. Just lay that out right there. Neck and head. Here's a USGI wool scarf, neck coverage. This is a, I don't know where this came from, but it's wool. I think I bought it at a surplus store. I don't even know if it's issue, but it's lightweight and it's wool, and it's another layer. So this is 1 layer on the head, 1 layer on the neck, and then I got the balaclava for when it gets fucking titty cold outside. And like I said, I was going to show you, you know, so I have big enough needles to repair wool and thread, but in my sewing kit, but not for little stuff. There you go, wool balaclava. Alright. Wool socks. Here's another point that we should be talking about. Let me get up here. Alright, these things are bomb ass wool socks. These are Fox Rivers. They're basically thick as fuck. Not all wool socks are created the same. These are 88% wool. They cost you $15 a pair, but they are thick and fucking bomb proof. I have been wearing these every day and not been washing them. I've been basically practicing being a dirty hobo. Just to show you, not all wool socks are the same. I brought these other ones out here, which are made by a great company, Smart Wool. You know, these are great. But let's see if I can turn them inside out and you can see here. Yeah, there you are, thickness. There you are. There you are, thinness. There you are. All right, so whoa. See if you can see the difference here. This one's kind of thinner. This one's much thicker. Much thicker. I've walked around in these in the snow and froze my fucking ass off. My feet did. Walked around with these in my Teva Terrify 3s, which are sandals that I have in my bag that I'll show you later. And fucking nothing happened. My feet were toasty and warm as fuck. So, Fox Rivers, a pair of extra wool socks that I carry. Things are bomb proof. Let's get these out of here. Let's see here. What else we got? Get back over to the bag. Okay, here's the biggie. This is a Filson Mackinac Cruiser. And again, not all wool is created equal, guys. I can't stress that enough. If you think you have like a wool blanket and you think you're good, you might want to check yourself before you wreck yourself. This is a very dense weave. Wool differs by the content quality, the fiber thickness, and the weave density. So this is a very dense weave right here. And versus, say, here, let me come up to the camera again, I'll show you guys. Versus, say, this thing, which is, here you go. You can see the weave of this is very not dense at all. It still functions great, but the dense weave makes it not lightweight. Now, in my opinion, this is the kind of wool you want for innerwear, insulation wear. This is also insulation, my Filson Mackinac Cruiser, but it's a denser weave. As you can see, I can't see my fingers through it or anything like that. This is what I want. The Filson Mackinac Cruiser is what I want when I'm going through sticker bushes. This will hold up through sticker bushes, but is less durable. As always, you lose weight, you lose durability, sadly. So, this is my outerwear. Love this thing. Get it around here. This thing has, I love all the pockets in it. There is a lot of people like to compare this to the Boreal shirt. That thing is cool, and I appreciate the people that make it, but I like the Mackinac Cruiser better. I wish the Mackinac Cruiser had a hood, but it doesn't. Why I like it better is because you can ventilate. There's like many different levels of ventilation, you know, to accommodate your hiking, and that's important, especially in cold weather. It's also got this sweet ass game pocket on the back. I hope you guys can see this. It's got an entrance on each side with button flaps. Basically, it's another layer of wool. It's supposed to be, they call it a game pocket. You're supposed to put birds and shit back here. I like to stuff leaves in it. I like to stuff leaves in it. Yeah, to help insulate. And the wool can take it because, like, again, this is durable, tough ass wool. Alright. So this is actually 3 layers of wool for my torso. Even though I said I only was going to have 2 layers per. But your torso is the one you definitely want to keep layered up. You know, your torso and your head. So. Alright, here we go. Here's a new addition. Well, I think I had them added, and then I think I took them out, and then I think I added them again. So, these are Teva Terrify 3 sandals. These things are bomb proof. I wore them all summer, beat the fuck out of them. Got about 80 miles hiked in them. They got a nice Vibram sole, which I love. 10 or 15 of those miles is directly through woods, not on trails. They're showing wear and tear, you know, like right here, you know, but that's a comfort issue. That's not even a structural issue. So now the reason these are in my pack, well, there are a lot of reasons. Anything that goes in the pack has a lot of reason to be in there, but these things are, man, where to start? Ugh. That'll wash off. Sometimes you might have to cross a creek. Sometimes, you know, when you cross a creek and you put your shoes in the dry bag, so when you get back on the other side, it's not fucking wet. Hiking in wet is not good at all. You never want to hike in wet stuff because it's going to aggravate blisters, and you're going to get those more frequently, much more frequently if you're hiking in wet. So, sandals, you know, lost my train of thought. Yeah, hiking across creeks, you need to give your feet a rest. Like I said, okay, here we go. I've come to the conclusion that there's no way I'm going to accomplish the stated goals of the Ewls without being mud buddy and dirty and bug ridden and wet all the goddamn time. And most of the time. That's just the nature of how it's going to go down. If I want to do all those things and still roll with 30-pound pack. What these allow me to do is say I'm wet for like fucking weeks on end, my feet. Because wool, these things, when these get wet, these aren't going to dry out in a day or 2 days. Maybe 3 days if you got them hanging up the whole time. You know, there's a lot of factors depending on, you know, like, is it sunny, is it windy, is it humid? Of course, there are a lot of factors. But wool takes a long time to fucking dry out, man. So, there are invariably going to be times when I need to just let my feet air out. Another reason you need sandals. Alright, the video cut off, and I have no idea where it cut off. So I'll try and summate what I may have missed or may not have missed. Sorry for the redundancy. You gotta have sandals so your feet can dry out. You gotta have sandals, they really help in river crossings. These sandals I can wear in winter in collusion with these socks and be perfectly warm. I think that's what I was babbling about for the last 5 minutes. Oh, and essentially, you know, common fucking sense, y'all. If we're living out of our backpack and our mode of locomotion is our fucking feet, you need to take care of your feet. And if there was ever a time to follow the one is none and none is one, or whatever the fuck that rule is, it's this fucking time. Two is one and one is none. Definitely got to have backup. Can you imagine being stuck in the fucking woods with a sole missing on one of your shoes and without these sandals? Fucking, you're not going anywhere. It's basically a death sentence. So, bomb-proof sandals. Talked enough about them. Alright. Reach further into the pack. Here is the lower half of my insulation system, which consists of, these are smart wool, and base layer. You gotta have a base layer. Base layer aids so much in staying warm. Go sleep out 30 degrees under a wool blanket with just a wool blanket, and then do it again with a base layer, and you'll be like, holy fuck, I need a base layer. These right here are Polypros that I got issued in the Army. I will switch these out with some Stanfield wool bottoms, which are like $70 when I can afford them. Also, I'm a fat fuck right now, and I gotta lose some weight before I start buying clothes. Even though I pretty much stay double extra large until I get down to like 215 pounds. So that's another addition that will need to be made later on. Stanfield wool bottoms. What else we got here? Oh yeah, 2 pounds of food. It's basically got chicken bouillon cubes, black-eyed peas, rice, and lentils in it right now. Ideally, what I would do is dehydrate some, I have a dehydrator, I have fucking videos on it, dehydrate some veggies and stick it in here too. But these little lines those are the ration lines. Basically, and I've done this, I've functioned on just this much soup for a day, so it is possible. Your body's going to go into ketosis. That's why we don't want to be twig skinny thick, you know, when we lose weight, because we want to have some fat on our body. I'm going to make a whole nother video about that. Anyway, so there's the food, 2 pounds of it. When this runs out, I can either A, put food in it, or carry fucking water in it. It's just a Jiffy peanut butter jar. So, golden. Okay, this is a 1.5 leg hole trap that y'all know I fucking carry. My trapping skill is like, I'm still in the learning about the animal behavior phase, okay? I don't know how to trap anything. Like, I have an idea, I just haven't done it. And the reason for that is because there are fucking dogs that wander around here that are people's fucking pets. So I really need, if I want to do it, I need to drive like 15 miles away. I don't know, maybe I'm just fucking lazy. Like I said, I do all this in my spare time. Whatever the reason is, I fucking haven't done it. I can't do it around here because there's fucking dogs. So I don't know if this is going to suffice. I don't know if this little wire is going to be good for catching like 2 coons. I may have to add like a chain link chain to it, you know. I don't know. But there's this guy on survivalistboard.com again, and he recommended making these little coon traps, which are basically you put some nails in. They're basically a coon cuff. You can go Google that. They're a malicious coon cuff. Anyway, if I can make these and these can work, I can carry 4 of these for the weight of 1 of these, which will help a lot. Even though I lose the animals that I can trap, you know, the array of animals I can trap by switching to these. These are almost exclusively coon, possum, and skunk. I can trap more of them, and excuse me. And frankly, I don't think fucking raccoons are gonna, you know, be in danger of being extinct or eliminated at any point in time. So, so hopefully, we'll build some of these, and these will work. And these I can try around here because they're dog proof. So we'll see how that works. Alright. Water system. Water system hasn't changed at all. I think I got a different bottle than what you guys have seen. Still using the Sawyer filter. Still love this filter. Lightweight. Awesome. You have to carry this thing around to make it filter 1,000,000 gallons. But fuck it. That's easy as pie. What else we got? Get out of my bag, you bitch. Fucking spider. Get out of here. Get out of here. Alright. Still using the Snow Peak titanium cup and the clean canteen as my metal container. This is total, I think, is 64 ounces of water, and that's the perfect amount of water, I think, to carry. I think that's half a gallon. Like I said, we can vary up and vary down based on the season, because this 2 pounds of food is going to go quick. So there's not going to be a lot in here. I think that's it. I think we have finally... Alright. Is that it? Everything I wanna... Okay, I guess that's it. Yeah, that's what the Ewls consist of these days. If you want to talk about it, any of this stuff, hit us up at survivalistboards.com in the wilderness survival section. Like I said, there's a couple of us that are enamored with living out of a backpack in the woods. Everyone will tell you that it's fucking impossible. We're trying to make the impossible possible. So, yeah, my username on there is Twiggy. We got a bunch of people, Vanishing Nomad, you know, Survivalist has even started expressing interest in an extended living pack. So, yeah, because I'm a lazy fuck, I haven't gotten out this winter, and basically spent the night. So, I've gone out and I've laid, you know, and packed full with a bivy bag packed full of fucking leaves, and I know it's enough to insulate me. Basically, it's not gonna be fun, so I've just been putting it off. Why go outside during the winter time alone when I could be with my wife, the one I love, by a nice warm fire inside? So, yeah. Also, I don't know if y'all noticed, I gained a bunch of fucking weight. I gained about 20 pounds. I think the next video I'm going to make is losing the weight. At this, well, fuck it, I'll just add it onto this one. This is all for the kit. If you're still interested in this, it's my YouTube channel, so I'm going to babble on. I can't, like, I've gained so much weight that now it's affecting my hiking, okay? I think one of the main things that you should be able to do when hiking on uneven terrain is to lift you and your pack up by one leg. You should be able to fucking do that, because there's so many times where you just gotta lift up by one leg. I can't do that anymore. So, like, there's fucking, you know, rock steps and stuff that I encounter when I'm moving around here, and I can't get up there. So, I weigh 330 fucking pounds right now. It's affecting my hiking. Ideally, I think I would like to get down to 220. I want to be skinny enough, but still have fucking enough fat on me, you know, to go a couple weeks if we can't get any fucking food. So, and if I get down to 220, any clothes I'm going to buy are going to fit, you know, whether I'm 220 or whether I'm fucking 180. Like all fat people fucking say, I got big bone structure. So, that's going to work. I plan on doing this, basically tomorrow. I'm going to start eating 1,600 calories a day. This is going to accomplish two things. Over the course of 6 months to a year, I hope to lose enough weight to basically get me back into the hiking game. I only need to drop like 30 pounds before I feel comfortable hiking again. I hiked around at 310 pounds. Oh, I fucking went everywhere, you know. So, if I get down to 310 pounds, I can fucking do the boot scoot boogie like I normally do. But yeah, ideally I'd like to lose more weight than that. 1,600 calories a day. That's right. It's if I can find 1,600 calories a day in the fucking woods based on what I'm hunting, foraging, fishing, that is a godsend. I've flirted with this before, and I've done this for, a month or two sometimes. That's why my weight has fluctuated. I just basically didn't have the discipline to stick with it. So I know that 1,600 calories a day I can function on. I can walk around all day with a pack and function on it if I have fat reserves, I could probably function for 2 months, maybe even 3 months, if I get, maybe even 4, 5, 6 months. I'd probably look like a skinny African motherfucker, but still gonna function. If you meet like through hikers and through trekkers, none of them are buff, none of them are fat. They're all fucking stick twigs. They have very little muscle mass. If you think you're gonna be a buff guy and go do what we're talking about doing, just get rid of those fantasies. Basically, your goal is to be a twig, because being a twig, you lose or you use way less calories, and I guess that's it. You use way less calories, and that's good, because in order to make that calorie balance happen, if I'm 300 pounds taking in 1,600 calories a day and hiking fucking a million miles, I'm going to burn way more calories than if I'm fucking 200 or 180 or even 215 hiking all. 1,600 is going to maybe be able to sustain me. Everybody says that, you look up your basal metabolic rate. Supposedly at 180 pounds, I need 2,100 calories a day to sustain my weight. Based on my efforts, my eating efforts, and controlling my diet, I call bullshit on that. That you can go back and look at my fucking video. Where was it? What one was it? The Elk Lake video. There's a shot in there where we just roasted a couple pieces of meat. That's all I ate, man. I ate it. We amounted about to like 800 calories a day. So I call bullshit on 2,100. I'm gonna cruise at 1,600 for a while. I think that's why old people get fatter, because they don't change their eating habits. They're eating what they think they should eat, and they require less calories. But when they consult the USDA website, it says, hey, you should be eating 2,100 calories a day or 1,800 calories a day. I'm fucking 330 pounds. And just the other day, I was eating 1,200 calories. Felt just fine. So, the whole point is, I think we're going to be fucking amazed at how few calories we need to take in to sustain ourselves and keep ourselves healthy and prevent starvation and all sorts of other fucking diseases. Nutrition is way more important. Being able to get the proper vitamins and minerals. Now that's what we're talking about. Calories, sure, but nutrition, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to start doing that. Start eating 1,600 calories a day. It gives me, a good insight to what it's like to operate on 1,600 calories a day. Even though I already have a good idea. I think that's about it. I think that's all I'm going to say. So, you should see me slowly losing weight over the course of next 6 fucking months. If you don't, feel free to call me a lazy fucking fat ass, because at this point, I need it. Shifting gears, I grew my beard out and didn't shave my head for 6 months. I think it's like 5.5 months now. I just wanted to see what that was like. I've never done that. I've grown my hair out, but not my beard. And especially never done that while I was engaging in the fucking woods. I was worried that bugs would get all up in it and shit, but you get used to it. Initially, when my mustache grew over my lip and I was eating my hairs, I was like, oh god, but you get used to it. So, I I guess that's it. I guess that's the fucking content video. I'm trying to think if there's any other central ideas I wanted to convey. I think I would just leave you guys with this. Like I said earlier, if we're talking about living out of a backpack in the woods that weighs 30 fucking pounds, all season, any season you want to go out, being able to operate without fire, while completely soaking fucking wet, and in stealth mode, there's no way that is going to happen without getting seriously dirty, seriously mud buddy, all kinds of poison ivy, all kinds of insects. If you want to, if you have like Vanishing Nomad has a extended living system. If you want to change that, the principles to where, you know, you use fire and stuff like that in your system, then I'm sure you can get away with, you know, like hammock camping and stuff like that. But if you can't, if you don't want to, if you want to have all those criteria fucking met that I just mentioned, we're going to be wet and we're going to be dirty. And basically we have to find ways to mitigate that. I'm toying with the idea of fucking fire ash to see how I can utilize the ash from a fire as a tool to mitigate poison ivy, bugs, and hygiene deficiencies. So, whatever. I don't even know if the camera's still going. That's the point I would like to leave you guys with. Don't even think about doing this. If you're sitting at home in your chair, don't even fucking think about doing this if you're not going to be willing to be bug bitten, starving, dirty as fuck, just smell like shit. You know, we're wearing the same fucking pants every day. We don't have toilet paper. Your ass starts to stink after a while. It's called mud butt. Fucking, you know, just, that's what you're in for if you're trying to do what we're trying to do. Just to help you guys out. Just so you don't sink a bunch of money into a bunch of gear thinking, oh, that's going to be fun. I totally want to do this. So, but you can always watch me do it. These videos are going to be coming for 10 years to come. And eventually we're going to get out there and we'll fucking have all our skills ready and be able to do all this stuff. Alright. So, I guess that's it. I think that's the 8th time I've said I guess that's it. So, boom. See you fuckers later.